Hello there and welcome back to this Flutter course, where today we're going to be starting our fourth unit where we're going to be going over the reactive framework and what that means in the context of Flutter. Today we're going to be going over just a basic application, just writing a hello world application, going over the code, just because in order to understand what a reactive framework means and sort of how it works in Flutter, we need to first understand just a very basic idea of Flutter and, not the basic idea, we already know the basic idea because we went over that in the past couple of units, but just how to write a very basic Flutter application. Anyway then, let's get right into this. All right, so the first thing that we're going to want to do is open up Android Studio. All right, so let's give this a second to open up here. We should already have, I believe we do already have a project created, a Flutter project created, and everything set up for writing actual Flutter applications. There we go. So you can see here we have a Flutter Eduonix course. Let's open that up, and that's going to open up this starter application that the Flutter CLI created for us here. So let's give this a second to load, and there we go. Okay, so let's go ahead now. We can actually delete the My Home page here. So let's just delete that because we don't need it. All right, there we go. And you can see here that everything starts here with a void main, right? So this is the main class. And here we just call this run app method. Let me go ahead and get dependencies here. You do see already how we have a pub spec. So remember we went over pub spec here, pubspec.yaml, and we can actually inspect that. You can see here that it has just the Flutter dependency and things like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So now we know what that does essentially. Anyway, so here we have homepage here, and we can actually go ahead and create a hello world app here by simply, when we do run app, we can just, instead of doing new my app, you can see here that it's a widget. We can just remove that, and instead of doing new my app, we can just do new. And we don't actually even need new. We can just do new, just do text, and then insert text in there. So hello world. All right, and there we go. Simple as that. So let's save that, and now we can actually go ahead and run this. So let's go. We need to first of all select a device here. Let me go ahead and go to the virtual device manager here, and we already have a virtual device created. All right, there we go. Oh my god, it's already running, and I have it opened up in my second monitor here, and I'm not 100% sure why, but I had a nature video of like some deer or something playing from National Geographic. Okay, there we go. Let me go and get it. There we go. So now it's here. Let me rotate this, if that's possible. Apparently it isn't. It's not rotating here. Let me move this over to the side here. Go back to the emulator. All right, well, I can rotate it this way, so I guess I'll do it like that. All right, there we go. All right, so now we got our emulator open up. And let me go and actually make this bigger if I can here. Let me make this text bigger so I can actually see. All right, there we go. I made it bigger. So now we can actually run this, but before we do that, let's actually wrap this in a material app, because we do need it, because otherwise the text just won't work. We have to have an actual home page here. Okay, new material app, and then here we're just gonna do, instead of text, we're gonna do home, and the home is gonna be the text hello world. All right, there we go. So now let's go ahead and run this, and that's gonna run on this emulator here. Make sure you have it selected here, so Android SDK build for x86, and that's going to run it on this emulator. Then here we have the actual place where it's going to run. So here we have main.dart right there. Okay, so let's give that a chance to install here, and depending on your processor, how powerful your processor is, and maybe your memory, how high your memory clocked as well, how high your memory is clocked as well, it may take a while. But we should. There we go. As you can see here, we've already got it done. We got hello world here. All right, and there we go. So now that we got a basic hello world application running here, let's show off Flutter's hot restart feature, or hot reload. So hot reloading, it's more for actual business logic, if you want to reload business logic. And we're going to get to that later on. But essentially here, it's most likely we're going to want a hot restart. So let's remove this exclamation point here. Now to hot reload, all we have to do is Command S, and that's going to hot reload. You can see here it says reloading. If we open this up, performing hot reload, but it didn't actually remove this exclamation point. For that, we need to hot restart. So we're just going to click on this button right here, and that's going to hot restart. And there we go. As you can see, it removed that exclamation point. Now, this is great and all, but it just looks a little bit weird, doesn't it? So it just looks kind of bad. So first of all, we're going to do a couple things here. So first of all, we're going to wrap this text into a center widget. Okay, that's going to center the text both horizontally and vertically. So we're going to do center, and then child is going to be the text. There we go. And let's close that up. There we go. So we can now hot restart that. And that's going to center it. There we go. You can see it's centered. That's already very nice. And then next, what we can do here is actually add a style here to the actual, well, not a theme here to the actual material app. So all we have to do for that is theme instead of, so we have home here. Let's also do theme. And this theme is going to be new theme data. And here we can do primary color, and then colors dot, let's do green. All right, there we go. All right, there we go. And then let's also add a comma here. There we go. Okay, so now let's go ahead and refresh that. You're going to see that this isn't actually going to do anything. In order for this to actually do something, we need to add one final widget here. We need to wrap this center widget in a scaffold widget. We're going to go over what all of these widgets do. Scaffold. There we go. And let's go ahead and go over here and add another one. Another closing parentheses there. And then here we're going to do body. Body is going to be the center. All right, there we go. So now that we got that done, we can actually go to code here and then reformat code with Dart format. Let's click on that. There we go. It's going to reformat it, make it a little bit better. And now let's finally restart, perform the hot restart. And you're going to see what's going to happen. There we go. So now it looks more like an application. And we can even now, if we really wanted to, do something like this. So just thinking about how we can do it. Yeah, let's do it like this. So inside the scaffold here, we're also going to add a app bar. There we go. App bar, and that's going to be app bar. It's going to be a new app bar. Remember, we don't need the new keyword though. And the title, title is going to be a text widget, and let's just say my app. All right, there we go. So that's going to be the app bar, and then yeah, comma, and then the body is going to be the new center. So let's code. Let's reformat code with Dart format. There we go, looking good. And let's restart, and you're going to see here what that app bar is going to do. There we go. It's going to add that app bar right there, and you can see that it's green because we set the primary color to colors.green. If we were to change this to something like I don't know, maybe let's say blue, and restart that, you're going to see that it's going to change the color to blue. There we go. And you can see we can change that. That's a very basic Hello World application now in Flutter. All right, so you may be telling me, great, okay, that's awesome. We created a Hello World application, but I have no idea what any of these widgets do. Well, don't worry. For that, we have something called the Widget Catalog or Widgets Catalog. So you can access it by going to flutter.io/widgets, and here we have all the different widgets that Flutter actually has. So let's say that we wanted to know like what the scaffold widget does, right? So it kind of doesn't make much sense. So let's search scaffold. There we go, and right, we actually didn't search it in the correct place. But if we do go into basics, we can see that here we do have the scaffold right there. So let's go ahead and go to the documentation here. And there we go. So implements the basic material design visual layout structure. There we go. So this class provides APIs for showing drawers, snack bars, and bottom sheets. So that's essentially the scaffold class. Essentially what it does is it sort of adds some default styling to our application. And for example, it allows us to add the app bar, which looks pretty good. This is this part up here. It allows us to, it gives us a background color. It adds some default text, styling, and so on and so on. And we can see all these different properties that it has. So we have an app bar, background color, body, so this is the primary content of the scaffold, bottom navigation bar, and so on and so on. And so you can see there's a lot of these, and we can even go ahead and search for other stuff. So we got, so we understand what scaffold does. What about something like text? So we can see here we have text. Let's go to documentation. We have text. A run of text with a single style. So there we go. So we have the text widget as well, and we can see all the different properties as well. So here we have properties for data, max lines, overflow, and so on and so on. We have text style here that we can create, and so on and so on. So there are a ton of different properties here. And as you can see here, with the constructor, the default text constructor actually takes data as a the first positional element. Remember, we went over that when we took a look at Dart constructors. And this is where it essentially comes into play here. So right here, if we go to Android Studio, you can see that we have it as the we have the first positional element. So my app. So that's essentially the data that it takes in there. Okay, so that's the text. That's the text class. Let's also take a look at the material app class. I'm sure that can make you a little bit confused. Or is the material app actually? I think it's in material components here. Where is it? There we go, material app. So let's take a look at the documentation for that. So an application that uses material design. There we go. So the material app class essentially means that it's an application that uses material design, and we have a bunch of properties here. We have a builder, so that's a whole separate topic that we can talk about, color, and so on and so on. And you can see here that we have the home. So the widget, we have a home property here. So this is the widget for the default route of the app. So we're going to be talking about navigation in a future unit here. But this essentially is the home widget. This is the first thing that it's going to display. And in our case, what it displays is the home widget. If we go back to the application. Whoops, I accidentally went back to the emulator. There we go. You can see here that what actually is displaying as a home is this scaffold right here. So there we go. So that's actually what that does. And I guess we can also take a look at theme data as well, since that also may confuse you. And to look at this, we can actually just go to theme here. Where's the theme? There we go, theme. Click on that, and there we go. We can see theme data theme. Let's click on that, and there we go. So here we can see the theme data class, and this holds the color and typography values for a material design theme. So use this class to configure a theme widget. So there we go. So this essentially allows us to this configures so that the default styles of our application. So in our case, we went ahead and assigned the primary color to color.blue, and in a result, the scaffold used that primary color to create this app bar and make it blue by default. So there we go. That's actually how that works. And let's finally take a look at the app bar, and I think that's actually going to be all. Yeah. Let's go to Google Chrome here. Let's take a look at the app bar class as well. I believe, there we go. So yeah, material component widgets, and here we have app bar. Let's go ahead and go into the documentation. So a material design app bar. So there we go. Simple as that. That's the material design app bar, and we can see here we have constructors for it. We have properties, and we see here that we have, where is it? Can't find it here. One second, I'm just looking for the title here. There we go. We have title here, and this is the primary widget displayed in the app bar. So this is what we went ahead and inserted here. If we go to Android Studio, we can take a look. We have app bar title, and that's going to be the new text. Whoops. New text, my app. And what we can do also is just wrap this text inside a center. And then child is going to be text, my app. All right, and there we go. So let's that's going to hot reload. We should hot restart instead. Let's hot restart. And what you're going to see what that's going to do, there we go. It's going to center that title. So yeah, that's essentially how the very basic idea of how we create UIs in Flutter.